Welcome, everybody, in the Movie Guys verse. This is Jordan here, part of Movie Guys Podcast. We wanted to say thank you so much for downloading this most recent episode. If you don't know what Movie Guys Podcast is, we are a new movie review show that is updated weekly. You can check us out at movieguyspodcast.com and also movieguyspodcast.podbean.com. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another awesome episode of Movie Guys Podcast. Tonight, we are talking about M. Night Shyamalan's second movie, starring Bruce Willis, Unbreakable. This is Jordan, and I'm joined here like Eric and Ed. And Eric, how are you doing tonight?
A lot better than Mr. Glass, I guess. This movie, so this was his follow-up, right, from the success of The Sixth Sense, right?
Yes.
And he tried to enter the superhero world, and instead he came up with a guy whose superpower was that he breaks like a, well, you know what. So
he was the bad guy.
Yeah, sure, super villain power, I guess. But I don't know. You could think of a better power than that, right?
Yeah, I mean, how about the power to move you?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. I did just pull a Tenacious D reference. I did.
Yeah. I think it works.
No.
So we had talked about this after what's the movie Split?
Yes.
Yeah.
We had talked about this that M. Night wanted to do. I'm gonna call him M. Night because he knows that.
Sure.
He wanted to do a superhero type of thing, and he did Sixth Sense just because I think that was the bread and butter. That was his main story, right? And then his whole idea was to kind of have this trilogy. But then there was the failures of Sony Pictures and Warner Brothers that were trying to do their superhero things, and it just came off really corny and cheesy, and it came up with mixed reviews, and it wasn't worth the risk for him to do this whole new superhero movement, right? Am I? Anyone want to correct or add on to that? That's kind of what M. Night was going.
I mean, the only thing that I can say is I felt like maybe it was a little bit of a deconstruction of the superhero that we know, kind of, sort of. But yeah, I mean, this is I don't know. Jordan probably knows the history of this thing way better than I do.
Yeah, I can get into the history before I talk about my personal history. Everything that M. Night Shyamalan or his supporters have said about this superhero trilogy is just bullshit. It's absolutely bullshit. He did not write Unbreakable and then also had an idea for Split and Glass. He had no intention of making a trilogy or a sequel. I don't care what he says. Just like when Toy Boy George Lucas said, "Oh, I always intended to make 9 movies." No, you didn't. You kind of didn't, though.
Yeah.
He's just saying that now because Split was successful. So that's why he's saying, and that's why we're getting Glass, because if it wasn't for Split, then Glass would not be around if it was not successful. That is what I believe is true, only because to end my rant, I have not found any conclusive evidence on the internet that he actually planned this out back in 1999, 2000.
Well, according to Entourage, the dude's the most secretive dude in all of Hollywood. So if there were to be somebody that would, and I'm just going on Entourage here, so it might not be any kind of facts at all, but it would be him who would be the most, it'd be this guy that you would have no idea what his plans were. To rebut you just for a second, Jordan, if he never intended on making a third one, why would David Dunn have been in Split?
Thank you. So, let's all agree that M. Night's career has been pretty much dog shit, right?
It has seen some success. It has been a roller coaster of a ride.
His first 3 movies out the gate were very hugely successful and critically praised.
Which were?
Well, wait a minute. We're forgetting about Wide Awake, the great Rosie O'Donnell film. That was his second movie. Playing with Anger was number 1.
So
Wide Awake was number 2. Unbreakable was number 3.
So somebody has his IMDb trivia.
No, au contraire, they made me watch that movie in theology class when I was in high school back in 2005.
What the hell?
Thank you.
The layman would say that it goes Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs, right?
Exactly. Now, I would like to add that before you chime in, Eric. Ed, look, everybody knows James Cameron's movie career. Nobody's going to agree that Piranha 2: The Spawning is his first film. Who gives a fuck? This first film's Terminator. That was just the way to get going. So let's just move on, shall we? So
now we're arguing facts this week, when last week when we knew we fucking reviewed a movie and it's somehow gone.
Now let me finish. God damn it!
Did that work?
I think
It
so.
did. He barked me to the point of shutting up.
Well, floor is yours. Go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm just trying to say, like Eric just said, the big 3, the original 3 was Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Signs. After that, he did The Village, which, oh, goddamn, bad.
That was
yeah.
That was where he started to really cement the what a twist director.
Yes.
And
yes.
really kind of fit into that everything's going to be have a twist ending.
Absolutely.
If you shit on Lady in the Water, Jordan, I'm going to punch you through our live screen. Just
that's fine. I'll shit on it for you.
Yeah. We'll all shit on it. Eric, I have talked for a while, so Eric, you can take this over, but let me say my few sentences very quick. The reason why Lady in the Water is his worst movie, worse than Last Airbender, worse than The Happening, and worse than After Earth is because it's such pretentious fucking douchebaggery. Because Leading the Water is literally Jesus and the 12 disciples, and M. Night is starring as one of the disciples. Eric, go ahead and take that over, please.
You know, I feel like this is kind of some weird M. Night's version of Shape in the Water, or Shape of Water. It's just kind of like this. I just don't. Everything about it, it was well acted, and that's what bothered me. Because acting on such high tier, Paul Giamatti, obviously fantastic actor, right? But sure. The role is so ridiculous, where he's like doing that gasping thing the entire time. It's like you do it so well, and I hate that. So don't do that again, because I didn't like his character. I didn't feel for anything. The way that it moved, the way that it paced it, I didn't care about any. But that's preference. And then the whole in the water and those grass beasts. Okay, now we're talking about M. Night, and not
Sure, yeah. Let's go into Unbreakable.
But you know what I mean? It started to get really silly with the characters, with the enemies, those grass beasts, right? And you have to stay off. Okay,
you're both wrong. You're both wrong, and I hate you both. Let's move to Unbreakable.
Fair enough.
Bear with me just real quick. I'm not going to take long, trust me. But I do want to say one thing before we get into Unbreakable real quick. Is that his last movie before his revamp would be After Earth. I say that if you two have not seen The Visit, check it out. It is a POV film. It's an amazing film, and that's why I want to talk about Unbreakable, because M. Night Shyamalan is better when he's independent, and that is what Unbreakable is compared, in my opinion, to The Sixth Sense.
So what was the fact that the last 3 of his films have all, or 2?
Well, you have The Visit.
14 have all been independently funded by him.
Yeah, by him and his production studio, blah, blah.
Sure.
Yeah, but he's better independent. He's not good when it comes to big Hollywood films. He's good with small budget and a big actor. Hence, James McAvoy in Split, and also Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson in Unbreakable, because who else is in Unbreakable besides Sam Jackson and Bruce Willis?
Unchain the Man. You know what I mean?
Robin Wright.
Yes, that's right. I'm trying to think about that before I say it.
So
that's White.
So
Robin White. Go ahead.
Unbreakable.
Wawa.
I'm done. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So security guard David Dunn, played by Bruce Willis for Unbreakable here. He is a superhero, kinda.
Accidental, unknowing.
Yeah, knowing that he just can't die, essentially. He just can't die. I mean, like, he's the movie opens up with him surviving um one of the trains that actually derailed, killing 131 passengers, and he was the only survivor sustaining no injuries at all. Now, during this time, though, in 1960, I'm sorry, back in the past, in 1961, Elijah Price is born with a rare disease that his bones are extremely fragile and prone to fracture. He grows up and becomes a comic book dealer and also known as Mr. Glass. So the reason why I set that up real quick is clearly this is not the Avengers. So I will go with Ed on this question first here. Do you want, Ed, a realistic superhero movie? If I say realistic,
Well, I don't know if I've said it on the show or I've told you in private. If I had my dream of being a filmmaker, right? If that was my dream, one of the movies I would have wanted to make, once I made it big, blah blah blah, storybook ending, would have been to have made something along the lines of a realistic superhero movie. One where the guy is middle-aged or older, in his 50s. He doesn't have anybody to replace him. He's old and he's fat, and a new threat comes up, and he has nobody's help because all his buddies have abandoned him or been killed, and he's got nothing. He's got nothing to do. He has nothing, but he has to go out and fight this new big bad guy who's half his age.
so Die Hard. That's what
Well, no, but the reason I'm saying that is because I've always liked the idea of everybody in the Movie Guys verse knows I love comic books. I love superheroes. And I've always liked the idea of a realistic one. That's why I liked Hancock so much, because that's kind of mez realistic to a certain degree.
Death Wish.
Yeah.
That's vigilante. That's not
right. The Punisher, Frank Castle. I mean, I always like those kinds of things. So yeah, Jordan, to answer your question, I did like the idea of a realistic-ish superhero.
What about you, Eric? Same question. Did you like this idea?
Oh shit! What was that movie with Chloe Grace Moretz where she was a hit girl?
Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So something like that. Like it works. This kind of realistic kind of thing. Although that was obviously very exaggerated based off comic book, and there was RPGs that were involved in that movie. So yeah. So something like that. But I had made mention to this before when we had talked about it during Split. Is the TV show of Misfits, which I think is on Hulu right now, and it's more like a teeny show. But they did this concept kind of a really well. They did it justice. That was a justice. They did a really cool concept where everyone was going through a life situation or whatever you were going through in your life situation. There was like this radioactive cloud. We have no idea what the hell where it came from. Whatever, it just came by and just zapped everybody and gave everyone powers. So, continue watching to find out more. But whatever you were going through, you were given a power that reflected your position in life at that moment. So the guy Ewan, who plays Ramsay Bolton in Game of Thrones, he's in the show. Like he's a very introverted kid, very shy, always in the corner, kind of like a fucking hobbit type and like that. So he could turn invisible. So because he felt he was invisible, right?
Sure.
There was another guy who was like a all-star like track and field, like just big star, potential going to go places,
Mm-hmm.
but he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it sucked. He got busted because he was at a party. Cops came in and arrested him, and he lost everything, his scholarships and everything. And so he just is living in regret and wishes he could just go back in time and just fucking so he could his power is that he could slightly go back in time, just to whenever a moment that he thinks or has deep regret for, he goes back to that moment where he can change it. So those moments where you're just like, oh fuck, if I wish I could just, I just went back there and just turn right instead of left or something like that. Well, he could do it. He'll go back in time real quick and do that. So interesting concepts like that.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
I appreciated that. Now, this movie, Unbreakable, when it was introduced to us, this whole real term thing, they didn't give us a whole lot of answers here. We had a lot more questions, and so everyone was just like, "What the hell is this shit you're trying to pull, M. Night? I'm not on board." We didn't get an answer until Split came out, right? And we got a bit more of what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which then leads me to think that maybe it was planned the whole time.
But no.
No.
But no.
I mean, he's basing he's giving me a foundation to once again, Jordan, explain to you why you're wrong. Just because you have an opinion doesn't make it right.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm just telling you is that I studied film in college. For Christ's sakes, I have a fucking very expensive piece of paper. Yes, that's pretentious for me to say.
Yep.
That says that I know fucking film, and I'm telling you that just like Boy Toy Lucas, you did not come up with this. You made a movie called Star Wars. It wasn't called A New Hope when it originally came out. You didn't know it was going to be successful, and it was. And then you made the sequel. So,
well, there is evidence that George Lucas did want to make more movies, but didn't know if he was going to be able to get funded. That's why he ended it the way he did. Open-ended enough to where it was satisfactory, but still had an ability for a sequel.
My thing is, who the hell cares? Like, who the hell cares? It not more often than not, when a writer has a saga, they write ending first, right? J.K. Rowling did it with hers. She wrote down the secret at the end of Deathly Hallows she said, like, on a bus, right, on a route to work, and she started with that and she worked backwards. George R. R. Martin had done the same thing, where he had a general idea of what was going to be, or what he wanted an ending to be, and then built off of that. But obviously his world building was, I don't know, was he taking acid or something? Jesus. This part
he feeds off the tears of his readers.
I always say that, like, I don't, it's a weird thing to say that, but like, that world is so fucking huge. Like, you see one map and you realize there's way more, and then anyway, I'm going off on a rant, but like, this is kind of in the same realm of world building. That's you're establishing roles and characters, and this is hopefully we get to see more of it, right? Well, obviously we will on Friday.
Sure. Yeah. Well, there is one thing that I want to say about this interesting theory about Unbreakable. There is a fan theory. Everybody can look it up now. If you go to Google, just type in Unbreakable Orange Man theory. The Orange Man, who was actually in the movie, he was a janitor at the railway station in Philadelphia, and he's the guy that essentially turns David Dunn into the superhero, right? He gets his rain suit and he becomes Batman, essentially, right? But there is this Orange Man theory that I've been reading that the Orange Man was actually one of the split personalities of James McAvoy.
Ooh, okay. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Well, see, again, this is world building where you're able to go back and reference old things when you, So this is, was this all planned?
I don't know, but
what a twist!
What a twist! So we got to talk about David Dunn a little bit more here. The super suit, I guess, is just a raincoat. I also find it interesting because if this happens in real life,
it's a poncho.
It's like a poncho. It's weird. I mean, like, how would this happen? It's very interesting that he is wearing that M. Night decided that this is how he's going to wear a super suit. Without a big S on his chest or a cape and cowl, just a slicker, essentially.
Everyday wear, man.
Everyday wear.
You know what? Maybe he's saying that the real heroes are the utility workers and the security people, and they don't get enough thank yous, and this movie's about them. This movie's
Yeah.
about the janitors who clean up, and this movie's about the garbage men who do the dirty work. Thank you.
And then
And wear ponchos in the rain.
and then have fight to the death battles with the Orange Man.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed.
Can we just say, like, okay, so there could be, like, they could have multiple superpowers, right? Because David Dunn, not only did he find out that his super ability to never take a sick day also goes along with touching, like the to Farsight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he touches that guy with the gun, and he's like, he all of a sudden knows he's got a gun.
Yeah, he can,
Yeah.
do some.
So he's like one of those seers from Minority Report. It may be accurate. He doesn't know. He doesn't see that far into the future, but something's gonna happen.
He's more like, what's his name? Bill Paxton from Frailty, because every time he touches somebody, he only sees the demons.
God bless you, Bill Paxton.
Oh man, can we tie that the fuck in? Oh, M. Night, please, if you're hearing this right now, get Matthew McConaughey on board. No, he'd be dead. He'd be alive in there, right? He was the main character. Bill Paxton would be dead. Get Matthew McConaughey, get on board, say, hey, listen, Frailty, I wrote it, he's part of it all along. This is now no longer a trilogy, it's a series.
Frailty.
Just wanted to pause real quick. Jordan, just throwing this out there just because I can, and I love the fact that I'm about to do this to you. I'm citing something from 2001 called The Making of Unbreakable. So from 2001, to shove your pretentious film degree up your bunghole.
Here it goes.
It was always designed, quote, when M. Night Shyamalan conceived the idea for Unbreakable, the outline had a comic book traditional's three-part structure: the superhero's birth, his struggles against the evildoers, and the hero's ultimate battle against the arch enemy, unquote. That's from being 2001, cited from owned Walt Disney Studios. So,
Eric, I do 100% apologize. This is not Call It in the Ring. This is Movie Guys Podcast. There's a different show here. Call It in the Ring. Ed and I always like to measure our dick sizes. I always end up bigger, but I will have to go ahead and just say my piece on this so we can move on with our show. You just said in a quote from a 2001 book about how they made Unbreakable is that he wanted to do a three-part structure from a beginning, middle, and an end. You didn't say that he was making 3 fucking movies. He didn't say that he wrote 3 fucking stories. He said he wanted to write a comic book movie about the beginning, the middle, and the end. That's what you fucking said. Not where anywhere in that fucking sentence did you fucking say that there was 3 fucking movies.
So what fans of the Movie Guys verse don't know that fans of Call It in the Ring do know is that Jordan's middle name is semantic because he likes to argue them so much and take semantics as facts as opposed to what they are, which is semantics.
Eric, you're never around us with Calling in the Ring. Do you have an opinion on this so we can move on with the subject? Do you have a who wins here, or do you just want to move on here? I mean, I just want to know.
I'm muted the entire time. That's fine. No,
we'll just go with you pooted, not muted.
Yeah. Move it on, boys. Let's go.
Okay, let's move on. So let's talk about Mr. Glass. What a very good evil villain. I actually like this idea of a guy's bones that are so fragile that they would break. How many 97 breaks he said he had?
Something like that. I mean,
yeah. And he owns a comic book shop. And in a nutshell, there's more depth to the character of Samuel L. Jackson's Mr. Glass. But in a nutshell, he owns a comic book store because he's always been on the lookout for his superhero because he believes he's the supervillain. He's looking for his nemesis.
So we have someone who kind of fits this bill that we had established the split. This is why it was so ridiculous, because you just have like this obsessive character for no reason. And it's just like, well, what okay, you're born with this, whatever the hell it is, and that's just. But then we kind of get this glimpse in Split that the human mind is so powerful, and that the whole reason why we are having the possibility of these superheroes is because you believe it so well enough that you eventually become it, right?
Mhm.
That the human mind can just kind of do that. And so this kind of supports this theory of him being a supervillain because he believes it so much, and where it's just consumed his life. He's obsessed, right? Aside from him being well read, well educated,
Mhm.
and just he knows his next step of what he's doing. Obviously, he's a terrorist. So for him to be, I guess, taking on this villain character is just there's more to it, and I'm glad that we get a movie that's going to explain everything. Hopefully.
Eric, do you feel that Mr. Glass is probably one of the top 100 greatest comic book villains of all time?
Oh God, no! What the no,
No.
no, God, no! It's well, you know what? I should stop there right now, and I'll tell you after I see the movie. Because he might pull some dirty shit, but you have basically just a butthurt comic book shop guy who's putting bombs on trains. That's
Trying to find his arch enemy.
yeah, trying to find a guy who possibly survived a train however many years ago by killing a whole bunch of other people. So I'm not down with that. That seems like a pretty bitch move. You know what I mean? Like Riddler was a bitch too. He never killed anybody, but at least he did some shit. This guy just it's
He
just
left
menacing.
just enough room for Batman to always thwart him.
Well, it's because you need to solve the riddle.
Right? Yeah.
That's what every good puzzle has is to have. You have to be able to
Mhm.
solve the puzzle. So that was his
Yeah.
psychotic little breakdown, which is why we all liked him, right?
Yeah, and Eric, I'll agree with you 100% that Glass up until this point is just a guy who his mom bribed him with comic books to go outside because, as we know, as soon as we're introduced opening of the movie to them thinking that he was born and they somehow broke his arms and his legs.
Yeah.
So that's why he even says that he's the kids at school call him Mr. Glass or call him Glass because he breaks stuff all the time. And when he's feeling out David Dunn, Bruce Willis, he falls down the steps at the stadium and breaks like 12 different bones in his body or something like that.
Oh God, it's such a hard fall too. Oh
But
man, like I just did that thing that just shut up my back right there.
Oh yeah.
Chill.
But we also get the reveal that David Dunn was right. That sensory touch he had.
Yeah.
That he was right. The dude had a gun. So that's where he confirms what his belief to be is. He's found his exact opposite, which is what he wants.
Okay. All right. So another interesting question I had for you guys is David Dunn. Do we really know 100% what his superpower is? Because, he survives a train derailment, a train crash. But during the fight of the Orange Man, he's about to drown because he can't swim, and he's survived, and he's saved by children. So could he have drowned?
I mean, he's what's a word that I could use? Undamageable.
Unbreakable?
Vulnerable.
Invulnerable.
Invulnerable. Like what? Yeah. Like what are some things? I don't know. I don't know what you could call it.
Could you just call it unbreakable?
Oh yeah, you had said that. Yeah, I guess we could go with Unbreakable. Unbreakable seems like a good thing to call him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's immortal. It just means that he's not breakable.
Yeah, he's unbreakable right there. So right there.
I was just asking if you guys thought that he could actually die. That's just my question. Could he actually die, not just of old age? That's all.
Well,
Is that his power?
We'll see if they have to, if they're gonna go with superhero laws, but who knows? Maybe we'll get some new ones because oftentimes every superhero has a weakness. Every villain has a weakness, whether it be your kryptonite or magic or whatever it may be.
Or saying your full name, you turn back to yourself for the first time in 3 years. From Split, that was Split. That's his kryptonite.
Yeah, that's right. So there are obviously something. Yeah, exactly. Like what the hell, Mr. Glass? Drink some fucking milk, man.
2% or 2% or whole
It's
milk.
got to be whole milk. He needs some calcium.
Yeah, he needs
in that.
to get it real fresh, you know.
Would it be funny if he always had a glass of milk with him on his wheelchair? That'd be kind of funny.
I'd be down with that, man. That'd be
Right.
it'd be creepy.
We got to, yeah. I'm actually really excited to talk about Glass next week. I'm excited to see how this trilogy is going to go. The trailers came out a long time ago, months, and I don't know how they're going to do this because I don't remember David Dunn being sent to a mental hospital.
Well, I'm sure they're gonna explain it to you somehow.
Yeah,
So and the split, he's must have got off his shift at work, or he's getting ready to go to work or something, eating breakfast. I don't know.
Oh,
What
I
I
wonder
think-
if he started to do some superhero shit and got busted, or was just
Yep.
there and he tried to explain to them, and they're just
There you
like,
go.
yeah, you're crazy.
Your one flew over the cuckoo's nest.
that's exactly what I think. Get into our little theory here. I think the movie's going to start with him going mano a mano against the Beast. And, I think the movie's going to open.
You said.
Yeah. No, I think that the movie's going to start with the Beast. Because in the trailers, you have these, a group of cheerleaders, 3 or 4 cheerleaders. I think the movie's going to start with the Beast going after the cheerleaders. And then I think that David Dunn's going to come in and try to save them because there is a couple of shots of him around the cheerleaders. And then it's going to be this uber fight. The cops are going to come, arrest them both. And then I think the rest of the movie is going to be into the mental institution. I think the biggest action we're going to get is in the first 15, 20 minutes.
And
then I think it's gonna
save the world.
go down after that. That's what I think.
I'm excited. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited to see more of it because even if we get into popcorn ratings, I still did not like this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay. As far as the superhero concept, I'm on board with it. The way this movie was done, I'm not on board with it. With a few different things because I don't know shit about the characters, and I never got that's what bothered me about this. Okay, popcorn ratings, everybody. I
Yeah.
fucking
Popcorn rating.
If I have to give it one, it's a small bag. Otherwise, you know what? I probably would get none. I'm okay with not seeing this movie ever again.
Wow.
Here's the thing: certain parts I liked, certain parts I didn't. Okay, and the parts I didn't, there was a lot more of those than the parts that I liked. I don't like what bothers me. Jesus, when just say a fucking word to your wife, just one word, just say a one thing. When this woman's breaking down in front of you, talking about how much she loves you and shit like that, or just say just something, it was just those scenes were hard to watch, and I don't really know why we needed to see them.
Mm-hmm.
Because it didn't add to anyone's character. It just we already knew that this guy was quiet loner, and now I just get that he's a neglectful husband.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like a lot of the scenes were unnecessary. That's just me. It's a personal opinion. It doesn't mean shit. That's just that I didn't like it, and
That's the major theme. There are 2 major themes to M. Night Shyamalan movies.
no motive.
No motive. Well, I guess 3. No motive, an attempt at or a twist somewhere in it, and the fact that his movies could have been told in 30 minutes and the rest are filled with fluff.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's M. Night Shyamalan in a nutshell. And
That's his movie.
yeah, And I like this movie. I really do. I think, as per most M. Night Shyamalan movies, it could have been 30 minutes or less. This movie could have been a TV episode. With that being said, it's the first original thing, and granted it was 20 years ago, but it was the first original idea that anybody had, and I think it's one of the maybe there have been 10-ish movies we've talked about that had original ideas in the last 20 years. Can y'all think of any? Can y'all think of any?
For original ideas, I don't think Happy Death Day was, right?
Right. But you get my point.
Yeah.
You get my point. I gave him an A for an effort. He tried to be original. I think the originality worked, but he's just not. He made 3 good movies one okay movie, and everything else has been shit.
Yeah.
Not Split though.
No, The Sixth Sense was good. The thing, and another thing about M. Night Shyamalan movies, you only have to watch them once. If you watch them more than once, there's no need, because you get the twist. Signs was great. Sixth Sense was great, and going back on it, I like Split. The only reason I hated Split, if y'all remember back in the review, was because it was an Unbreakable sequel. It's the only reason I hated it, and it's in our archives. So so that I have to put that back into the great category. Unbreakable's good. Everything else is shit.
Okay.
So I'd give this a medium bag, I guess, if we're doing that.
A medium bag and a no bag from Eric. In college, short and sweet here. I was a freshman in the University of Toledo in 2005, and there was 2 movies that every film student just nutted over. One of them I absolutely despise, and I don't understand, and the other one is Unbreakable. The other movie was Boondock Saints.
Oh yeah.
There-
They all love
there-
that one.
Yeah, I never got it. I've seen it probably 6 times. I don't get why people like Boondock Saints, but my freshman year of college, everybody watched Boondocks or this movie. So I enjoyed this movie. Anything that Bruce Willis is in, I will watch. I love him in Death Becomes Her. It's one of my favorite guilty pleasure movies from the 90s. But it's just... My wife wanted to see this really bad. I said, watch it by yourself. I've already seen it last week. So I agree with you, Eric. But I'm gonna go crazy, and I'm just gonna give it a small bag of popcorn. It's okay. If you're a fan of superheroes and a fan of the superhero genre, this is definitely something to check out. But we want you guys in the Movie Guys verse to check out something as well. Ed, where can they find some awesome beer at?
Inside the Cellar. They're a great company. What they'll do is they tell you what to pair alcohol with. They'll send it right to your door. It's a subscription. They can buy alcohol. And definitely check out Broken Skull IPA. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the professional wrestler, his beer. But the dude made a career out of drinking beer and knows what he's doing when he puts his name on a label. So definitely check out Inside the Cellar. Got to be 21. Obviously, we don't want anybody underage drinking. We want you to drink responsibly. So it's definitely one of the best places on the internet to check out some beer, learn about things you maybe never knew, and go to try things that you think you necessarily wouldn't have otherwise.
And make sure to check out movieguyspodcast.com and movieguyspodcast.podbean.com. This episode and many others, you can download our show at iTunes, on Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Just search for Movie Guys Podcast. So thank you so much, everybody, for listening to our little hype episode here leading up to Glass next week. We'll be back next Thursday, like always, for another awesome episode of Movie Guys Podcast. Have a good night.